So I figured we can start with Sassenach. You can tell us what's going on with the brand, what's the future of it, and start drinking.
Oh, let's do it. Okay, so I have a admission. So I am in London. I'm in some apartment here that I have. So I have no whiskey glasses. I went to go buy some today, and I couldn't find any. So I'm having to use. It's your choice.
I would do the wine glass only because it's a bit more for the nose, you know.
I was thinking about that. I mean, you get obviously that's going to trap it, but I think you're going to get a lot more
aromatics from the wine
aromatics
glass
in that one. So we're going to go wine.
But keep the other one next to you as a dump glass in case you can't finish something.
Good
or
plan.
You know.
So we have the Sassenach. This is the new, obviously from the new release, and we are a limited release, and we just released in the US. And I think 90% sold out now already in the US, within 48 hours, which is partly really exciting and partly slightly upsetting. You know, I want everyone to be able to try it, and we've already, sold so much. But we released in 37 states this time. We're really proud about that, and we have more coming at the beginning of the year, 2021, and then after that we should have a more regular supply of the Sassenach. So as you know, it's hard when you're doing limited edition and it's such small amounts you're making, and but we're really proud of it. And obviously we have our new labels, the gold medals that we won this year. So 2020 was a good year for whiskey.
For spirits.
For us.
The one thing that they've noted is that alcohol consumption obviously has gone up being stuck at home. So yeah, it looks great. I saw the awards. I'm about halfway through my bottle.
Oh, well, then you need another.
I definitely need another.
We shall work that one out. Just get into this. Who made this? I don't know.
Yeah, who made this?
Who made this rubbish?
Yeah, so the way I heard from Alex is you brought in the first shipment, first half of the year, then COVID kind of delayed the second shipment. So what was just released again is almost gone. If not, I'm almost positive it's actually all gone by now. Yeah,
and we're just about to release in the UK on the 10th of December, and we have a set amount aside for them, which is great because we haven't actually released in the UK yet. But yeah, by January we should hopefully then have more regular supply. It's been hard, we've been by the skin of our teeth at sometimes, managing to get things done because of COVID. A lot of things have been shut down. Obviously Scotland as well has a different tier system of coronavirus than England and the rest of the UK. So there's been a lot of back and forth, but we're there, and
yeah. So we actually had a trip planned for France to go Armagnac shopping, and that was in May. Terrible. Yeah, it got canceled, and then we had a trip for Scotland that you were potentially going to tag along with to go at Signatory to go cash shopping, and I thought by August we would for sure be out of this. We'd be free. The lockdown would be over, and now everything is being re-locked down, and it's like, okay, well, I am so desperate just to get out of this country, to go to Scotland, to go to Spain. I am so eager to get, as I'm sure you are too, just to expand my brand and to do more in spirits. Like, I'm so excited, and it seems like it's just a waiting game at this point.
It is, yeah. Not to get too heavy about it, but it is up in the air. I think we're over the hump. Hopefully, I know America's in a slightly different place to the UK, and I feel for America because it looks like the numbers are going up, but there is light at the end of the tunnel, hopefully, with a vaccine, and we're finding ways. Even my industry, we're finding ways to keep working, which is great. But it's been just so difficult for everyone, I know, and especially for the healthcare workers, but also for hospitality industry is practically decimated over here. It's really sad. So hopefully, the new year will bring a new kind of normal and perspective, and hopefully we can get back to the world that we kind of knew, and can start spending time with people again, which I miss.
Yeah.
Cheers, mate.
Oh yes, cheers. Absolutely.
I haven't actually tried the Sassenach now since probably our last release, which was beginning of the year.
It took a minute to get mine, but I posted about it. I was super excited. So we talked about this briefly the first time I saw you. There's this perception within the whiskey world that celebrity brands, because I've said this before, you can launch a brand off celebrity, but you can't sustain a brand off celebrity. If it's too expensive, or if it's just not good, which oftentimes it's just not good, the people will slowly drink or cherish it and maybe save it for later, or just never get around to it because it's not good. And then the brand kind of falls off. I was pleasantly surprised in our last meeting to find out you really are actively involved. You really love whiskey, and it's made very clear in the book as well that you are they call them oh God, it's been a long time. What are they? Anorak? You're a whiskey anorak? I think that's the term. But just someone who just loves the spirit, obviously loves the history behind it. And when I got my bottle of Sassenach in, I was so pleasantly surprised that, Sam, it's good, buddy. Like I'm very happy to hear.
Yeah, I was so pleased when you said that you liked it, because I think that's the thing with celebrity brands as well. And we were always like, we don't want to just be another celebrity brand. There's so many of them, and not many of them are particularly that great. But for us, it was always about the taste. What goes in the bottle is the most important thing, and we want to continue that as well. And I'm really, really proud of it. It's, I think, a delicious whiskey. It's hopefully going to introduce a lot of people to whiskey, and also, as you say, blended whiskey. Which I love, especially the Asian blends, and that was the jump off board for us. We sort of looked at them and went, okay, now let's make the Scottish version of that. And I think the snobbery that maybe is around blended whiskey is dying out, or maybe we're hopefully with this, people are going to be re-educated and realize that actually the blends can be incredible and be very, very unique as well, because we've made something that is unlike anything else. So
yeah, you bring up a great point. We talked about it a little bit off camera. There are tropes or old wives' tales that are spread throughout history that kind of, in the past, historically, blended whiskey was more bottom shelf. It was more, you're talking about the 60s, the 70s, people were but all blended whiskey really is, just by definition, is more than one distillery. Yep. And that doesn't mean that they're all bad, but in the past, a lot of brands have been bad. So that kind of ruins the perception. But there's a great brand out of Scotland, Compass Box, that has that has changed the concept, the idea, and the expectation of what blended whiskey is. And your whiskey's in that category. The concept of blended whiskey just means more than one distillery. Every distillery blends, right? So even if it was a single malt, you're still taking, and I love Laphroaig, and I love I love everything Edredauer does, right? And they'll take multiple barrels, blend them together in-house. Well, if you just were to bring one cask from another distillery and blend it together, it's now considered a blended whiskey, but it's just as good. It could be a 30-year-old cask. It could be, so breaking the barrier or breaking the old tropes of what is blended whiskey is something that you're doing, and I applaud you for it. I definitely want people to understand that just because things were done in the past and they were done bad doesn't mean that things were done now can't be great.
I think definitely. I think you're right. I think especially in Scotland, in the probably like the 70s, early 70s, 80s, these big distilleries started, churning out these sort of blends or whiskeys that were not great. But they learned how to do mass production, right, and sort of really scale them up. And I think a lot of, we've moved away from that now. But yeah, there is still this hangover from that period.
So, have you thought about doing other things? Well, what's next for Sassenach? What's the vision long term? Are we first and foremost? You obviously want to scale up and hit other countries.
Yeah. So we obviously want to share the love with everyone and make sure that everyone has access to it as well. So that's been the main focus at the moment, just trying to do that. And it takes time, obviously. And it's something as simple as we had to go and buy more Oloroso barrels so we could age in them. And that takes time. We've done that, and we're still waiting for the liquids that's in there that it's going to be aging. But yeah, I think ultimately we want to then expand into other spirits or other expressions. So whether we've got a large number of things we want to do, but whether that's looking at different areas of Scotland or different countries. There's a lot of different ways we could go, and I think we've got some great ideas. I'm being very cagey about it because nothing is set in stone yet, but we have some really cool ideas. As you know, my business partner and I, we like whiskey. He never drank whiskey. He never drank till I met him. We like to call him the whiskey virgin, but he's a great man, and we think we do a lot of brainstorming over a dram. So yeah, watch this space, I guess.
Well, okay, so we'll wait with bated breath, as they say. I'm excited to see what Sassenach does next. I know there's a lot of people just trying to get their hands on it. I couldn't be happier for you. I think maybe the Amroot next.
I would love to go to the Amroot next.